And welcome back to Crypto Hulk Show. Got great news. The SEC has announced, we're going to go over what they're talking about here. Let me give you a brief. They will be done. The SEC will be regulating crypto through notice and comment rulemaking, not through regulation by enforcement. So common sense. What that means is they're going to post the rules of the game. Now, how hard is that to understand? Gary Gensler had 4 years of just fucked up, idiotic. I said it from day one. I was the only person on social media saying that this Gary Gensler was bad news. All the other channels, oh, no. All the other channels gave him approval. And I was like, no. He's a teacher. Teachers are Democrats, and that's all bad. You're going to see. This will be a fucking train wreck. And guess what happened? Just like I called it, okay? You got to know, if someone's a college professor, it's all bad. They're like one of the most stupidest, the most stupid that you can get. These people are educators. That means they're Democrats, and it's going to be all kinds of fucked up, okay? My name is Crypto Hulk. We've got great news from the SEC. We're going to get into that. That news from the SEC is going to greenlight crypto. There will be rules posted, and all you got to do is, if you're a developer, is look at the rules. It'll be really easy. For 4 years, we had a college professor of crypto who looked like he didn't even know what he was doing at all. He wouldn't even tell us what's what. I mean, come on. He wouldn't even answer a question. Is Bitcoin? What is Bitcoin? He wouldn't even answer the question. 4 years of just stall tactics. Unbelievable. Wow. We're going to start off with that because that's going to be positive. Trump brought in a very positive individual, and they got a crypto task force, and this thing is going to go where it needs to go. First 5 people are TK, Brian Edwards, Crypto Greek, MK_P, and then Issa and Noor, somebody by the name of Noor, became a member. Welcome. My name is Crypto Hulk. I'm not a financial advisor, not a crypto advisor, none of the above. I don't know anything about what I'm saying. I don't know anything about crypto at all. Everything's grok. Yeah. All I do is just trust in grok, and that tells me what to do. I went to Costco yesterday. I got my energy drinks, and I'm unstoppable. We're going to start off the show with, if you like this show and you're benefiting from it in more than one ways, what I need you to do is like this program, put some kind of comment in the top chat. After the show, put a comment, anything you want in there. Save the show to your favorites. Save all these shows to your favorites. Share this program and others anywhere and everywhere you can. Even if it's to your own email. We like interaction here. And lastly, pick 8 videos and run them on a playlist. The reason I ask you to do this is because YT doesn't want my show to get out. And I used to get like 1.4 million views per month, and now I get about 650,000. This was all in about the past couple months. So it's just recently that this has happened. There's no way you go from 1.4 million down to 650,000. Not possible. So they're making an effort. So I'd appreciate if you could make an effort. You're watching a show for free. And I'm trying to reach as many people as I can before this thing takes off. And there you have it. So let's do that. Now let's look at the SEC. Starting to look pretty good. I want to show you the future of crypto looks great. Let me share this article with you. I was looking through this article last night and I'm like, wow, this is pretty cool. It's almost like common sense. Imagine that. Here's the title of the article. It's on Cointelegraph, probably one of your most reputable news for crypto sites. The SEC to shape crypto policy with notice and comment. Securities Exchange Commissioner Chair Paul Adkins told a Senate subcommittee that his approach to crypto will be done through notice and comment rulemaking, not through regulation by enforcement. The U.S. SEC Commission will hone its crypto policies with notice and comment and move away from shaping its rules through the courts. In June 3rd remarks to the Senate Appropriations Subcommittee, Atkins said the agency's crypto policy making will be done through notice and rulemaking. The commission will utilize its existing authorities to set fit-for-purpose standards for market participants. Now, Adkins is a former crypto lobbyist. Now, this is interesting. I didn't know this. And said that creating a rational regulatory framework for crypto assets will be a key priority for the SEC under his tenure. Okay, stop. Let me tell you something. Now, I've worked in law enforcement and the court system and these kinds of things. I have a pretty good, little job history thing going on. In this general vicinity area, when I started off my career, I worked for a sheriff's department and we went through a police academy. And what did we learn at the police academy? How to write the big old fucking book in our own handwriting. And that had to be neat. You had to take all your notes. It was like 6 inches thick by the time we got done, this notebook thing. And you had to write really, really clean. We had to study the law so we knew how to enforce the law. The law in California that we studied a couple different ones: penal code, vehicle code. Then we had to look under sections of the business profession code, health and safety code, very small. But let's just talk about vehicle code. The vehicle code is how you get that little handbook at the DMV now. They probably don't have the handbooks anymore. You have to look at it online. Why am I talking about that? Because this shit, they're doing all this on purpose to not have laws and to have confusion while they set up a system. Okay? All this is done by design. Let me tell you something. Do you think, seriously, crypto came out in 2009, so we're talking 16 years ago. Can you name anything in the government that doesn't have laws? Why is it that just because, like the cryptocurrency, there's no laws? Can you imagine that? Like, you got laws that you can't sell hot dogs in a cart on a sidewalk. But there are no laws from Congress regarding cryptocurrency. Do you see this? Because I want you to understand what's really going. We're going to zoom out. We're going to zoom out and listen to Crypto Hulk, because he, has a perspective on this that these other channels don't have. These other channels never have been law enforcement. They've never arrested people utilizing code. I've done all these things. I've been in court testifying, creating cases, presenting before judges and attorneys and all kinds of things, okay? It's a setup when 16 years go by and you don't have crypto laws in your country. Now, how's that? See? We got laws on top of laws and laws and laws and subsection this, but nothing with crypto? When when I really start talking to you about this, now you start thinking, well, yeah, that is kind of weird, huh? Do you think it's intentional or just by accident? Yeah, we'll get to it next year. Not a big deal. You've got literally millions and millions of dollars in cryptos floating all around the place, right? No crypto laws? Seriously? Nobody is. I mean, shit, you get the thing called a drone, and within probably, I don't know, a few months, laws come out for those, but nothing with crypto. And you got literally billions and billions of dollars being changed hands. No laws for 16 years? Like, something's going on with that. Just like I told you, the government is setting up. Now, all of a sudden, hey, it's good that Paul Adkins wants to have, but he's talking about this, creating a national regulatory framework for crypto assets will be a key priority for the SEC. I don't know when this will happen. Former SEC Gensler was criticized because he created policies through legal settlements rather than lawmaking. Okay, what Paul Adkins is saying, and he's saying we need laws. This is all good and all. Let me just, this is frustrating for me, looking at these dumb shit actors and actresses. When I worked law enforcement, we had a penal code and a vehicle code primarily was what I dealt with health and safety code shit and business profession and all that. But I mainly just dealt with the two. I was a reserve, so I worked 1 day a week for like 2 years. So I had limited scope. But in my daily job that I would do, if I noticed somebody did something wrong, I'd have to know what code they violated, pull them over or whatever, and issue a citation. Now, with the SEC, there's no laws. In the United States, think about this. There's no law books. So how do you enforce anything crypto? You can't. How do you tax crypto? You can't legally. And if you do, it's taxation without representation. That takes it all the way back to how our country started. You're being taxed on shit where there's no rules and laws. Just indiscriminately taxing people on crypto. Like this whole thing, see, no other channels discussing this because these people have no fucking clue when they make these channels. Landon Smith. Okay. Thank you very much for the donation. I have a question. Do you think assets are going to appreciate the same? Or do you think there's going to be an asset that's going to be first? I don't know if I quite understand the question, but what crypto will bring is a ledger. Crypto will bring a transparent ownership logbook. That's what crypto brings. I don't think that assets, because we're just talking assets here. There's no crypto before it. So assets in general, houses, cars, planes, boats, everything's going to be the same. The difference is you have a ledger book that everybody can see. So it identifies, like, you can put on a ledger, I own this. Now everybody knows you own that. So that's what the ledger is going to do. So what Paul Adkins here is talking about is crypto laws and stuff. He added the SEC will establish clear rules of the road. Well, okay, here's the problem. Here's the fucking problem that Paul's not addressing. Okay, this should start to irritate me with these Congress people. So this is so fucking stupid. Simple ass shit. This is not complicated. Congress needs to create all the laws and regulations and put it in the United States Code. I've only been saying this 5 years since I started the show. No other channel talks about this because these people have no fucking clue. All right? All I do is promote and sell, advertise, promote, and sell. It's all they fucking do. All right? Brett Fichera. Welcome to the 2024 crypto explosion. So here's the deal. While I appreciate what Paul Atkins is doing, it's not what we need. What Paul Atkins needs to do is get with all the commodities future, the FDIC and all this. They need to get with the top crypto companies, like pick 20 of the top crypto companies, experts, this, that, on a weekend, sit in a room, maybe for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10 weekends, whatever it is, for maybe an 8-hour workday, 4-hour workday, whatever, and sit out and figure out what the fuck are we going to do for laws. There you go. And all that, because see, what Paul Atkins says, it's not law, it's guidance and it's rules. Law is something that Congress has to make. The president signs it, and the judicial has to interpret it. We keep going back to 8th grade again, 9th grade, civics class, okay? The basic fundamentals have to get done. It doesn't matter what Paul Atkins says. It matters what Congress does. Do you get this? So yes, it's great. He's talking about coming up with rules and not taking people to court all the time. All that stuff's good and all, but it's not law. So we're kind of wasting our time with Paul Atkins. The only thing he can do is allow shit to happen and try to bust people. But if these people took it to court, he doesn't have authority to deal with crypto. Think about this. This is something that's not talked about on any other channel, and not even your YouTube lawyers and shit. Look, this whole thing's a fucking mess on purpose. How can Paul Atkins tell you anything on crypto or enforce whatever? We don't have any definitions of what cryptos are and what's a crypto commodity. Paul Atkins doesn't get to determine that. Congress does. You see this? And you're like, dang, Crypto, this is totally right. I'm never hearing this on any other channel. Paul Atkins technically can't do shit with crypto. He's not in a position to tell you what crypto is a security and which one's not. Why? Because in the United States Code that I used to follow when I worked at the federal, I used to work at the Department of Justice. So even up at the federal level, we didn't have like the penal code, health and safety code. We have the United States Code. And I know I'm talking about shit that no other channel does. And you've never heard this before at any other channel. And that's why my channel is the most heavily shadow banned. So I'm going to wrap this up with good old Pablo Atkins. Now, it's positive what he's saying, but I'm telling you, this is not it. This is not going to send us to the moon, all right? I'm not being a Debbie Downer. I'm just letting you know. Until we have, in the United States Code, definitions, penalties, laws, rules, and all that in the United States Code, what Paul Atkins' job is to interpret existing crypto law, which we don't have. Paul Atkins doesn't create law. I know he's talking about, hey, look, he can talk about whatever the fuck he wants to talk about. He can try to enforce whatever, bust somebody. But if they take him to court and say, Your Honor, in the United States Code, which we follow in the United States, where's the definition of crypto and the authority of Paul Atkins to do anything with cryptos? Can you show me in the United States Code where that's at, Your Honor? And the judge would be like, well, there's nothing in the United States Code. Bingo, my case is over. Bye, bitches. And I'd walk out of the court. I mean, that's just how it'd go. These people are going to court acting like the judge has authority over crypto. There's Annalisa Torres and all that shit. They can't say shit to say. A judge has no authority with cryptocurrency. It's not in the United States Code. Bingo, court case over, case dismissed. It's that fucking easy. The SEC doesn't get to determine the definitions of shit. The SEC can't tell you what is a cryptocurrency security. It can't do that. That's what Congress does through laws. Oh, dang, Crypto Hulk. Never heard this before in any other show. Exactly. Common sense channel, okay? I used to work at all these different levels in law enforcement. This is simple shit. I'm not smart. I'm just stating basic facts. It's all that I do in this channel. El Coco Loco. Thank you very much for the tax-free donation. I appreciate what you do. Oh, you're going to really appreciate it when you look at your bank account. There's like millions of dollars in there. People, somebody says this, then why do we pay taxes on it? Because you're fucking ignorant. Because you do what your government tells you, like a robot. We don't have crypto laws and regulations. You have to agree on that. So if you agree on that premise, first we have to start under the premise. There's something called the United States Code. You don't know what it is, never heard of it, so you wouldn't know what I'm talking about at all. Same with these other YouTubers, all right, and all these other channels. First part of the premise is, do you know what the United States Code is? Let's just say, okay, yes, I know what it is. It's all the rules and definitions in the whole country. Okay, now you know what the United States Code is. Now, do we have crypto laws and regulations that Congress voted on already? The answer would be no. That's why the Genius Act is coming up and the Stablecoins Act. So we know there's a United States Code. We now acknowledge we have no crypto laws. So therefore, since we have no crypto laws, they're not in the United States Code. Now, what gives the IRS authority to tax you? United States Code. But based on what? Based on existing crypto law, but we don't have any. Oh, so they're taxing people with no crypto laws, and people are willingly paying the tax on that? Yes. Because they're ignorant. They don't know. They think, well, they sent me a letter. Well, I'm going to bend over and let them fuck me in the ass, I guess. Hopefully it'll be fun. When you understand all I know is basic shit. I'm nothing intelligent at all. You have something called the United States Code, and you have something called crypto laws. We don't have something called crypto laws. So they're not allowed to tax us? What do you think? What do you think after what I just told you? What do you think? Or do you think? That'll be my next question. Do you think? My accountant tried to tell me it was just like cashing out stocks. I told him, where is it in the code? Right. The United States Code. It's known as the USC, United States Code. Crypto's not a thing. Okay, let me break this down for the really slow pokes. That's why in the news they're talking about a Stablecoin Act and a Genius Act, because we don't have any crypto regulations at all in the United States according to the United States Code. There's nothing in there. People just don't get this. I'm shocked. I'm truly shocked at how people just don't get what I'm saying. There's nothing in the United States Code. They're not allowed to legally tax you. If the United States government came out and said, you got to chop off your right hand. Well, looks like it seems kind of weird, but I'm going to go ahead and do it. Chop my right hand off. That's what they told me to do. I saw it they issued it. It said it. I saw it on TV. I'm like, wow. Because people drink. How do you think all those people died in Jonestown, South Africa or something? They drank the Kool-Aid that was poison. I ain't paying no fucking tax on crypto. That's so fucking stupid. Retards do that shit. And then you have these retard people promoting crypto tax attorney on their channel. I won't mention their names. I'll just say digital dildos, but I can't mention names. But yeah, for like a year or two, they're promoting this Clinton Donnelly, tax attorney guy. There's no crypto tax law in the U.S. code. IRS has guidance. That's not law. Guidance is supposed to be based on law, which we don't have. So that guidance is actually a violation of your civil rights. 18 United States Code, Section 242. That's how you would sue the IRS or other people. Any government agency that stops you from buying crypto, taxes you, etc., hinders you in any way, 18 United States Code Section 242 states that any person working for, any city, county, state, province, whatever, if they work for the government, or if they're in the United States territory and they act in a position, even though it's not official, they could be in some territory of Guam and say, I'm the president of this area and you can't buy crypto. That's a violation of the United States Code right there. 18 USC Section 242. Now, if you buy and sell crypto now and you're not paying tax, when the laws come into effect, this is why, I mean, it goes back. I mean, if we really want to take it way back, I'm going to stop here before I get into anything else. Let's go to the next article, but I just wanted to show you that right there. I don't care what the IRS says. It's not what they say. It's what the law says, okay? And right now, it's all free to do whatever you want. Let's go to Brazil and Europe. I want you to see this next article. Ripple is all over Brazil and Europe, all around the world. There is no other crypto company doing this kind of stuff right here. Ripple's XRP, the Ripple Labs US dollar, enters Europe, Brazil for cross-border payments. Okay, let me break something down. There's been some retards making crypto videos that Ripple's not going to use the XRP and that they're going to use the stablecoin, the Ripple Labs US dollar. Okay, tarded. Says Sticky Joe, tarded. Let's think. I know this is really fucking complicated, so let me try to break this down. XRP, the currency, okay, and the reason I call it a crypto a currency is because in 2015, the United States had a settlement agreement with the courts, the United States Attorney's Office, and it was determined by the judge, the attorneys, everybody. And we're back. Yes, we had a YT tried to shut the program down. That's how I go from 1.4 million views a month to 650,000, because stuff just like this. They can't handle this show, I'm telling you. The truth that comes out of this show, you will not hear at any other channel. Now, yeah, cancel the medics. Here we have an article about Ripple Labs and the stablecoin, okay, and XRP. And it says, enters Europe and Brazil for cross-border payments. Ripple's been in Brazil for like 11 years. It didn't enter Europe and Brazil. It's been there for like ever, okay? Let me explain something real quick before we start. There's misconception among low IQ, knuckle-dragging, heavy mouth-breathing individuals that are generally about 4'7" tall, low in stature, flat foreheads and shit, and they tend to breathe a lot out of their mouth, and their hands literally drag on the ground. Some people call them Democrats, but let's not get political. They said this, that, Ripple's not going to use the XRP anymore. They're going to use the stable coin. No. So how it works is, I know this is really tough to understand. The XRP token itself is a bridge. Okay. You can use it to buy and sell shit. People aren't going to be doing that at all. We're doing it now. Gbrad81, thank you very much for the tax-free donation. What you have to understand, brand new people, when you hear dumb shit like this, is the XRP is a bridge. It sits in between a transaction. So if you're in the United States and you want to send money to Mexico, XRP is the bridge. So you can send dollars and they get pesos, right? You can send whatever, they can get whatever. You can send, how you're going to see it in the future is somebody can send shares of Porsche, and those shares of Porsche on the way to Mexico will be converted into pesos or whatever you want. That's how it's going to be with the internet of value. Everything's going to convert into everything, something else. You got these people saying, oh yeah, the XRP is not going to be used, blah, blah, blah. These are people that just don't understand that XRP is very simple, like in its use. I'm not going to get into how they made it and all that shit. It's very complicated. But it's a bridge. It's all that it is. It's a bridge currency. It's not going to be used. You're not going to be buying shit with XRP. Can you? Yes. It's just like this. If you have gold, like a gold coin, right? They're making it legal. These states, more and more states are making gold legal tender. So what does that mean? You can actually go to the store and use a gold coin and buy some shit. Okay. It's impractical. Also, if your friend's car breaks down, there's a tow truck there, but the tow truck driver wants money immediately. It's gonna be tough for you to get that gold coin to your friend 500 miles away. It'd be quicker to pick up your phone and utilize XRP as a bridge, but maybe the tow truck driver wants the Canadian dollar. But you can literally send the tow truck driver the Canadian dollar within 2 to 5 seconds. So yes, you can buy shit with XRP. It's kind of like using gold. It's not going to be what it's designed for. XRP is designed to be a bridge, so it won't interfere with any one country's money like Bitcoin does. See? So XRP is a bridge. Mexico doesn't need to worry because people aren't going to be using XRP to buy shit. It's a bridge. So you can send that peso and somebody else gets all the XRP does is acts as a bridge. That's it. It's going to be backed it's going to be valuable because it's going to be backed. A lot of people are concerned, well, what's going to happen to the value of the XRP and blah, blah, blah. It's a bridge currency. Ripple designed the Ripple Labs US dollar because I think the United States government's eventually going to take it over. Okay. And I've been telling you this for 5 years. Like imminent domain. That's what's going to happen. I think with Circle and with the Ripple Labs US dollar, somehow the government's going to commandeer all those as systemically important for the United States survival. Systemically important. I think the United States government, I told you already, is Ripple. It was designed to save the country and to keep the dollar in dominance. That's what all this was for. And I have the evidence that no other channel has. That's why we have Ripple Russia, Ripple China, and all these things. No other channel has any idea what the fuck we're talking about, okay? So if you're on this channel, you're years ahead. I tell you shit about the automated market maker before Ripple even talks about it. I'm showing you. They already had it with China. They started it with China. No other channel has this kind of info. All right there, buddy. VHA. Thanks, Crypto Hulk. You the man. Let's go to continue here. So now that I explained all that, you got Ripple, according to the article, moving in to Brazil and Portugal. Ripple has joined forces with Unicambio, one of the oldest and largest foreign exchanges in Portugal. Now, what do we got going on? Now we're seeing Ripple starting to move in to the businesses. Now it's spreading. Smaller companies that weren't using this are now getting it. All the big banks and shit, they're already hooked up. They got the money to do this. Now Ripple's moving into smaller money exchange places. It's almost like they started working with all these big banks and shit, and now they're moving down into they started off small with some of these small Ripple first mover advantage companies. I'll get into that later. Look in the second paragraph. This partnership with Unicambio. This partnership would also integrate, listen to this, Ripple's ODL. What is that? XRP. Okay. Which would allow Unicambio to send money across borders without needing to keep large amounts of cash in foreign banks. So we are seeing now Ripple hooking up a money exchange, a foreign exchange. Notice this isn't a bank. Normally, all the time we see Ripple doing stuff is with banks. And then it got into, like, Ripple itself's a money service business. So this is interesting here, how you got Europe and Brazil getting all hooked up with on-demand liquidity. That is XRP. I want to be very specific about that. And they're probably using a private ledger, so that's why the price of XRP is staying the same. Ripple has an ability to give away cryptos. I've shown you this already. That's how Ripple incentivizes. It gives it a lot of it away for free and charges others. Now, if we look at this article right here, I'm going to send you. They're talking about Ripple moving into Europe and South America. It was already there. Here's this article right here. Ripple Labs announces their first bank. Ripple Labs' first bank customer in the entire world is called Fedora Bank. It's in Germany. That's in Europe. This is 2014, 11 years ago. The XRP ledger, everybody knows what that is. It's controlled by France. Oh, shit, Crypto Hulk. What? That's in Europe. I want you to see how Europe is super hooked up with Ripple. So France controls the XRP ledger foundation. England's already a Ripple customer. There is not official paperwork on that because they probably signed a non-disclosure agreement, but they did a proof of concept. Common sense would be, why would the Bank of England do a proof of concept? No, to make sure Ripple works. And it passed, and then not use Ripple. That makes no sense at all. So, Bank of England, Ripple partner. The Digital Euro Association, just all the money of Europe, not a big deal. Ripple partner. The Force gave 5 people memberships. Nasty Nate got a membership for free. Maurice Martin. Giles Garden got a membership by the Force. Out of Control Mason. And Kinston 21 got a membership by the Force. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's 5 right there. So, yeah, the Digital Euro Association, they're partners with Ripple, and that's all over Europe. Now, I made a video here about a couple years ago. We have a knuckle dragger here. Hopefully, it's not one of the real knuckle draggers like the 4'5" Neanderthal Democrat. Thank you very much for that tax-free donation. So go to the 1 second mark. In this video, I'm going to show you IRBA, International Ripple Business Association. Ripple, I have what's called the 2013 and 14 Ripple customer list. Okay, no other channel has this. And what we see here is a part of that. It's the IRBA. So this is how Ripple came into Brazil around 2014. I have a timestamp here of 2015, but it's actually 2013, but that's just the timestamp for that particular page. The timestamps on the number 4 second mark. Now, if you go to the 12 second mark, the International Ripple Business Association Member Gateway. What is this? What is the IRBA and all that? Gateways are the on-ramps to the Ripple network. They give users the ability to move assets like fiat currency, crypto, gold, silver, etc. Okay. Notice we're talking this Ripple gateway helps people move fiat, gold, and silver already. That's why I got gold and silver. I got more gold and silver right now than cryptocurrency. Around the globe instantly. They're talking about moving fiat instantly around the globe, everybody, in 2014. At no cost, at almost no cost. The IRBA listed gateways have committed to following a rigorous set of standards. Who we got? Japan, Korea, Canada, Mexico, Europe. Well, Europe's right there with Bitstamp. Remember how the article says Ripple moved into Brazil? And no, they've been there for like 12 years. Here again, if you go to the 22 second mark, you see Bitstamp and GateHub, both in Europe. So there's gateways in Europe all the way back in 2014. I don't know how many there are now, hundreds, thousands, I have no idea. But what I'm showing you is from like 2013, 14, like when Ripple first started. Yeah, and if we go to the 25 second mark, you'll see China. China had gateways in there. Korea. But I wanted to show, there's Brazil. Look at the 25 second mark. I'm going to show you something. So it'll help prove what I'm showing you is real. I'm showing you the International Ripple Business Association website, a portion of it. And at the 25 second mark, we can see a Brazil, and it says RIPX, RIPPEX, okay? And let's go to this article here. Let's look. Right here. I'm going to show you on CoinDesk where there was such a thing called RIPX because it was Ripple's second gateway in Brazil. Look at this article right here. Look at the article dated 2014. That's 11 years ago. Latin America's latest Ripple gateway launches in Brazil. It's called RIPX. It's right there. RIPX aims to boost cryptocurrencies in Brazil with the launch of the country's second Ripple gateway. So there it is. RIPX is really a thing. So therefore, that IRBA website is real because it's showing you RIPX, and there's Coinbase talking about RIPX. Now, what was Ripple's first gateway into Brazil? It's called Ripple LATAM. And that was 2013. Hacker hunting in COD. Cheating or just too good? That person's a member at the 2024 crypto explosion. So right here, your next article, Latin America's first Ripple gateway. It's called Ripple LATAM. Ripple LATAM will serve Argentina, Brazil, Mexico, and more. So these are gateways on and off the Ripple platform using XRP. Now, how do we know they're using XRP? Because I'm going to show you right now. Because whatever I tell you, I always use facts, not opinion. What I'm going to show you right here is a very, very crude, simple. What we have right here is the only evidence I have of Ripple Latin America. It's 2013. Says it right there in the bottom left corner. Talks about Ripple integrates the world's virtual currencies such as Bitcoin and Litecoin with existing payment systems. This article talks specifically about XRP, the new virtual currency. So we know that XRP was used from day one in different places around the world. They're talking about a payment system, right? It says right there, payment system. And then they start talking about XRP in this sentence here. They talk about loading money and send it to people. Ripple is based on a new currency, a virtual currency, XRP. Do you feel like you've come to Bitcoin for XRP? The time is now. I think it's very clear looking at here that there was a thing called Ripple. There was a cryptocurrency called XRP. And there was a payment system, and they were using it. Now, I know Ripple talks about all this XRapid and all this stuff, and they were using the shit from day one. I think all this XRapid and all this other stuff was, I don't understand what all that other, and then they said, well, we get a bank used to using, the XRapid, and then we can go on-demand liquidity. Or look, all I know is I got evidence right here. So from day one, they could hook people up right away. None of this X whatever stuff, just straight fucking XRP. So there you have that. That's the only evidence I have. And that'll end that article right there. So we know that Brazil and Europe and shit, they've already had all this for like 12 years. I've shown it all. But they're making it look like Ripple's moving into these companies and countries. Ripple's already been there. I've shown you all the evidence already. Let me check the time of what we got. Okay, 12 minutes, plenty of time. Let's see. Again, IRS interpretation is not law. So if you want, look, I'm not a lawyer, but lawyers know how to do all this. We don't have laws about crypto in this country. So a judge can rely on guidance, but if you argue in court about law, IRS guidance and court interpretation of guidance, not based on law, means the case gets thrown out if you argue it the right way. So if you don't have a law, the IRS can call whatever. It's IRS opinion. That's what we're talking about, an opinion here. And when you actually go to court and you have a lawyer who knows what they're doing, when you have a lawyer that doesn't have a deer in the headlights look like, do I want to go to the left or right, or should I stay right here? But if you go on United States Code 18, United States Code Section 242, then it starts to get different, because now you have a government agency acting like they have law and they don't. You don't have zero law and then say, well, I am the IRS and we interpret. I know judges go with it. Doesn't mean that it's right. It takes one case to destroy past. There's something called past practice. It's very common in government. It's called past practice. And what that means is if you do something long enough in the government, then it just becomes kind of a standard way of doing something. until somebody like Crypto Hulk Channel rattles the cage and a lawyer actually starts looking into this and be like, wait a second, we don't have anything in the United States Code. Oh, that's a civil rights violation. Now you can sue the IRS, take the IRS to court, and say under 18 United States Code, you're what the 18 United States Code says is this: any person in a government position that stops you from doing something that's lawful is a violation of your civil rights. I'm breaking it down real slim. There's nothing in the United States Code to prevent you from buying and selling and all this stuff crypto. An IRS opinion isn't law. So when you go to meet your lawyer, or if there's a young lawyer out there who wants to make a case for himself, you can sue the IRS. Now it'll probably take you 3 million years to have a court date, but you could set a precedent by suing the IRS under 18 United States Code, because they don't have authority to tell you what you can tax and what you can't and all that with crypto. Now, once Congress makes crypto laws and that goes into the United States Code, you're fucked, okay? Now, but right now, it's not in there. This is what I'm trying to tell you. Right now, it's not in there. And the courts don't allow them to have it both ways. Either they're going to bust you with crypto law and then what? Bust you because they don't have crypto law? No, it doesn't work like that. Okay, IRS, you want to tax me? Great, awesome. Put it in the law first. Oh, you don't have it? Well, you're not interpreting it then. You're not going to make a rule. No, we don't make shit up out of the blue. You don't have the right to determine what is taxable and not. The IRS doesn't have that authority. That's what the law is for. So that's how the lawyer would argue these things. And a lot of lawyers probably just don't want to deal with this, you know. And that's why everybody gets lazy. Their asses are getting fat and huge sitting there. Here, the judges' asses are just growing by 3 feet per year. But everything I'm telling you is just common sense. You find a good lawyer that has a pair of cojones down south in Mexico and go to court and fight the IRS and ask them under what United States Code section is the definition of crypto. Because, see, you could claim, I don't know what the definition of cryptocurrency is because it's not in the United States Code. The way I work, Your Honor, is I follow laws and I follow legal definitions. And right now in the United States Code, we don't have laws and we don't have any legal definition of what crypto is. So, Your Honor, how are you able to sit on a case and decide something that's not even in the law books? So you make shit up based on your guidance, and so does the IRS, and you guys call that law? No, that's not how it works in America. I'm sorry. No. Now, in Russia or China, absolutely, you got it. In fact, pack your fucking bags up. You're going over there to be a lawyer in China, because that's how they do shit, I guess, over there, okay? Oh, man, the Common Sense Channel. Let's have some fun. Let's talk about Russia, and I'll go over just a little bit if I have to. I'm going to show you how fucking crazy this shit is. These other channels have no idea. I'm the only one that knows this shit. It's amazing. I can't believe these people haven't figured out all this stuff. Here's an article here. It says, in Russia, starting in early 2026, the government intends to oblige budget-funded employers to pay salaries in digital rubles, which is aimed at strengthening total control over the population. The Central Bank of Russia plans to introduce the so-called digital ruble, an electronic code for the domestic currency created by Kremlin financiers. Starting early 2026, Russian budget-funded employees will be paid salaries in digital rubles. Russia will fully control the circulation of the virtual ruble, tracking each transaction. There you go. That's how it ends up, everybody. I just want to let you know, it didn't start like that. In the United States, it doesn't start like that, but it ends up like that everywhere in the world. This is your future right here. The spending of digital rubles can be limited by the place of residence or type of goods. Oh my God, Crypto Hulk. Hello, smart contracts, right? In addition, the Kremlin regime will be able to block citizens' accounts and automatically deduct taxes and fines without a court ruling. Well, that's okay, because in America, we're fine with that. We're paying our taxes to the IRS. We're letting Gary Gensler shut down crypto companies. We're going to be just like Russia. We're almost there. Look, we had Joe Biden in office for 4 years. Now, Trump came in and kind of fucked all that up. But we'll get back to the communist country that we're supposed to be in, the socialist. We will reach socialist utopia. Let's read that sentence again. The Kremlin regime, the Biden regime, will be able to block citizens, or I should say the Obama regime we've had for the past 16 years or whatever. In addition, the Kremlin regime will be able to block citizens' accounts and automatically deduct taxes and fines without a court ruling. And see what's happening? In America, we're just like, oh, IRS is taking our taxes. Just like Crypto Hulk said, we don't need anything in the United States Code. The IRS said it and the judge said it, so there you go. People, can you please go back to understanding how it works in America, where they're supposed to vote on shit and the president's supposed to sign it? Then, and only then, is where the judicial branch interprets existing law. What you guys go for now is you have a government agency, not elected people representing. You have a government agency called IRS, and then you have a judge or judges, and these two are acting like they're creating law. Americans are just so fucking clueless. They're doing just what they're going to do in Russia. You already allow it right now. Well, I'm paying my taxes because the judge said and the IRS said. So a government agency said pay us, and then a judge said it, but there is no law. Well, that doesn't matter, Crypto Hulk, because the IRS said it and the judge, so therefore I got to do it. Wow. No wonder. These are people that just give up their rights. Oh, that's what the IRS says. I'll pay it. Well, that's what the judge says. Well, you know, I might as well bend over and get my ass blowed out and make it about this big, my asshole. Okay. All right. Let's see. If we go underneath the picture, the central bank called digital ruble code. Okay. There you go. So there's that. Now let's get into the good stuff. I made a video about almost 3 years ago. So if you've been on this channel for 3 years, this will be very old news. Now, if you just came to my channel, you've never heard this on any other channel, because that's the way Crypto Hulk works. Go to the 45-second mark. 45 second. Well, speaking of Russia, what do we have here, Crypto Hulk? Well, it looks to me like a Ripple logo, and then it says Ripple Russia. Imagine that. That's so fucking hard to understand. You got Ripple, and then the country code RU. So RU's country code, below it, you'll see in this picture, there's a video. I played that the other day on my little short video. Okay, that's the video I'm talking about. Russia and Ripple have been partners for like 12 years. And you're like, brand new people are like, what? This has got to be fake. No. Not a Crypto Hulk show. I wouldn't do that to you. Go to the 55-second mark. 55-second mark. What do we got here? They're talking about Z payment since 2007. What is Z payment? Cryptocurrency payments. Before Bitcoin, Russia had in 2007 cryptocurrency payments called Z payment. Too fucking easy. And you look right here at the date, 2014, right? It's telling us this. It's talking about our visual representation of our gateway in Ripple. This is what Russia's saying. Okay. How many users do they have on Z-Payment? 432,000. That's all. Not a lot. And here is the actual page from Z-Payment, January 9th, 2014, showing a Ripple Russia crypto connection right there. It's called Z-Payment. You look at the left bottom corner. It shows news, January 9th, 2014. It's titled what? Ripple Gateway. Oh, shit, Crypto Hulk. We are pleased to announce that the first ruble gateway. Oh, so what have we learned right here? And it talks about XRP and shit. They're not doing the X current or X rapid. Okay, enough of that dumb shit stuff. It's always been ODL the whole fucking time. So what do you got right here is UC with facts 2014. We know there's some called Z-Payment. It's a cryptocurrency network from 2007. We know that Ripple with the XRP was in Russia, and they have a payment system. So that's what we got right here. That is not on any other channel. Let's look. Sounds like I'm working.
Sorry, I can't get the door open.
The front door?
Yeah.
Is the alarm off?
I don't think so.
Okay.
Definitely in the shower.
Okay. I'm going to cut this video off right now. I'll see everybody today at about 5 o'clock p.m. Pacific time. Adios.